You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Emotions. They're intense, unpredictable, and sometimes overwhelming. But what if I told you that you have more control over them than you think? Today, we're diving into one of the most life-changing Stoic principles. Control your emotions. If you've ever felt like anger, anxiety, or frustration ruled you, this message is for you. So, grab a quiet moment for yourself, and let's walk through it together. What does control your emotions mean? Controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or pretending you don't feel them. That's not Stoicism. Stoicism teaches that you should understand, observe, and master your emotions. You see, emotions aren't the problem. The problem is when we let them control us. Imagine you're sailing a boat. The wind, your emotions can blow in any direction. But the Stoic mindset reminds you that you are the captain. You can adjust your sails. You may not control the wind, but you always control the ship. Here's how Marcus Aurelius put it. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The problem is not what happens to you. The problem is how you respond to it. Why is emotional control important? Here's a question. Have you ever said something in anger that you later regretted? We've all been there. Emotions, like anger, fear, and anxiety, are temporary visitors. But when we give them the keys to our mind, they cause damage that lasts far longer. This is why emotional control is a superpower. When you master it, you don't just control yourself. You control how your day, your relationships, and even your future unfold. When you're calm in the face of chaos, you stand out. People listen to the calm person in the room. They respect the one who doesn't react impulsively. Here's another Stoic reminder. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Our mind tends to blow things out of proportion. That fight with a friend? It feels like the end of the world, but it's not. The stressful deadline? You'll get through it, just like you always do. When you stop letting your emotions run wild, you see things clearly, and from clarity comes peace. How to control your emotions like a Stoic. How can you control your emotions when everything feels out of control? Here are 5 Stoic practices you can start using today. Name the emotion. When you feel anger, frustration, or fear, name it. Say, "This is anger," or "This is fear." Why? Because the moment you name it, you separate yourself from the feeling. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," say, "There is anger present." It sounds small, but it makes a huge difference. You're not the anger. You're the observer of the anger. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to teach me right now? Pause before you react. You've heard it before. Take a deep breath. But here's the Stoic twist. Count to 3, 5, or even 10 before responding. Why? Because most emotional reactions last only a few seconds. When you pause, the emotional wave passes. Then you can respond with logic, not impulse. Ask yourself, if I act on this feeling right now, will I regret it tomorrow? Focus on what you control. Here's a classic Stoic idea. There are only 2 things you control: your thoughts and your actions. If you're stuck in traffic, you can't control the cars, but you can control your frustration. If someone insults you, you can't control their words, but you can control how you respond. This shift in perspective is like flipping a switch. You realize most of your worries are outside your control. So why worry? Focus on what you can do instead. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Or is it outside my control? Practice negative visualization. This one is powerful. Before a big event, a meeting, a date, or an exam, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? This might sound pessimistic, but it's actually empowering. By imagining the worst, you prepare yourself. And guess what? Most of the time, the worst thing never happens. So, when things go better than expected, you feel relief, not fear. Ask yourself, if the worst happens, how will I handle it? Use Stoic affirmations. Every day, remind yourself of these Stoic truths. I control my mind, not the world. No one can make me angry without my permission. Every emotion is temporary. These affirmations are like mental armor. They prepare you for whatever life throws your way. Here's a scene you've probably lived through. Someone cuts you off in traffic, says something rude, or triggers you in some way. Your heart races, your jaw tightens, and before you know it, you've reacted. But what if you didn't? This is where the Stoic principle of controlling your emotions shines. It's not about suppressing how you feel. It's about mastering the pause. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That tiny moment between something happening and your reaction, that's where all your power lies. Most people react automatically, like a reflex. But a Stoic responds intentionally. It's not about being cold or emotionless. It's about being conscious and deliberate. How to master the pause. Notice the trigger. Start by identifying situations where you tend to lose control. Is it criticism? Rudeness? Delays? Once you recognize your triggers, you can start to see them coming. Use the 3-second rule. Before reacting, pause for just 3 seconds. Count them in your head. 1, 2, 3. It sounds simple, but in that short moment, you give your rational mind a chance to catch up. It's often enough time to shift from reaction to response. Ask Stoic questions. Before reacting, ask, is this under my control? Will this matter tomorrow? Am I acting out of virtue or ego? These questions stop impulsive reactions and guide you toward calm, intentional action. When you master the pause, you reclaim your power. People will test you, life will challenge you, but you will no longer be their puppet. Instead of being pulled by every trigger, you'll be the one holding the strings. As Marcus Aurelius put it, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It's not the situation that controls you, it's your reaction to it. And with the pause, you can choose your response every single time. Emotions are not your enemy. They're like waves in the ocean. They rise, they fall, but you remain the steady shore. When you practice these Stoic principles, you become the calm in the storm. You're no longer a puppet to your emotions. You become the master of your mind. Here's a parting thought from Epictetus. It is not events that disturb us, but our thoughts about them. The next time anger, fear, or stress show up, don't push them away. Observe them, name them, and control them. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Drop a comment below. Which emotion are you working to master? And remember, you have power over your mind. Use it wisely.